Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Yuzuki, and I'll be the constructive speaker from the affirmative side. There's so many audience in this room, and I'm so nervous, but I want to enjoy this debate with Toyama Kokusai High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Misaki, and I'm a tax speaker on the affirmative side. And I haven't been to Toyama, so I want to go there. And I think Toyama is a beautiful city. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ben, and I'll be doing the affirmative defense for today. And I'm really nervous because last year I lost this first match in the pre-finals or something. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this match, enjoying with Toyama Kokusai. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Yuki. I'm summary speaker for the affirmative side. Actually, I made a friend with them, so I think I can enjoy this debate more and more than last time. And I'll do my best. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have a brief introduction from the negative side members.
Hello everyone, my name is Suka. I'm a contractive speaker from negative side. I'm so glad that we can make like this such a high, debate. So I'm so glad about it. And I'm from Toyama, and in Toyama there is beautiful bay called Toyama Bay. And when you come to Toyama, please enjoy the beautiful view and fresh seafood. Maybe I can be your tour guide. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jasper, and I'm the tax speaker from the negative side. And as a Chinese, I'm very happy to debate here in English and with Japanese students. And it's also my last year doing debate during my high school life, so I will try my best, and we already make friends here. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Seren. I will be the defense speaker from the negative side. I studied abroad in New York for 10 months. I love to speak English, so please talking to me this round. So let's be friends. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Isha. I'm the summary speaker from the negative side. I'm a little nervous but also excited and sad because this is the last time I'm doing debate with my senpais. So I hope we all will make a lot of good memories from this tournament. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Yuzuki. Plan. Two physicians must confirm if patients' intentions are rational or not. Patients must create a document that conveys their intention of being euthanized. 81. Free patients from incurable pain. Free patients from incurable pain. Present situation. Now, many patients are suffering from diseases with incurable pain, like fibromyalgia and albuminuria, which cause severe pain but do not cure patients, and available treatments are not effective. In Japan, there are about 470,000 people who are suffering from severe pain caused by fibromyalgia. However, presently, Japan only provides these patients with two choices to end their incurable suffering, which are passive euthanasia and end-of-life sedation. However, these two cannot end the suffering. Passive euthanasia cannot be done for fibromyalgia patients because their disease do not lead to death. In the case of end-of-life sedation, patients have to suffer from pain until a few hours before their natural death, according to Kyoto Medical Association Central Hospital. Furthermore, as we said earlier, these two treatments are not available for patients who have no risk of dying but have severe pain. Therefore, our current choices do not cure and do not reduce the pain. Effect. After the plan, euthanasia will be the only available choice for the patients with incurable diseases. Euthanasia will remove all pain immediately. Impact. Patients will not have to suffer from severe pain anymore. Carrying out euthanasia is the most practical and possible way of freeing patients from their severe pain. These patients have no hope with the current situation. They are waiting and wishing to be freed from the severe pain. Our plan will give patients the choice which they want and need. 82. Preserve dignity. Preserve dignity. Present situation. In Japan, a huge number of elderly have some kind of physical or mental dysfunction. There were about 3.7 million people who received nursing care in 2015, according to the Cabinet Office, and they cannot live a normal life. They have to be helped or taken care of for anything they want to do, like they can't go to the bathroom, eat, or even change their clothes by themselves. People someday get old and will face the difficulties in life as they get weaker physically and mentally. And when it comes to a certain point, they just think it's not worth living anymore. However, presently Japan does not give the elderly a choice to end their lives. It imposes a duty to live with suffering on them. Effect. After our plan, we can choose how we will end our lives with dignity. According to CMAJ 2016, over 80% of euthanasia cases in Belgium were elderly. Japan has 16 times the elderly population of Belgium, according to Statistics Japan and Global Note 2016 and 2015, so we can assume that about 110,000 elderly will wish to be euthanized after the plan. Also, between 2003 and 2013, the proportion of cases involving patients aged 80 years or older increased from 17% to 35% in Belgium based on the data of CMAJ. Japan is an aging society, so there will be a huge need for euthanasia. Impact. About 70% of cases in Oregon and Washington chose to be euthanized because of loss of dignity, according to Oregon Health Authority and Washington State Department of Health 2017. Healthy people, like most of us in this room, don't understand what it is like to lose control of our bodies. No one knows what will happen in one's life and how it will change. All of us still have to live and age someday, but we can prepare for what may happen in the future. With euthanasia, we can live with relief and confidence as long as we can, and if necessary, end our lives. Choose it or not, we will benefit by this choice. Self-determination is the foundation of our human dignity and one of the key elements that makes us ourselves. All Japanese should be able to make their own life choices with dignity. We need our plan. Dignity means people living the kind of life what they want to live, with independence, mobility, and freedom of choice. And preserving dignity means empowering people with the freedom to choose what to do with their lives, especially when and how to end their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judges and Chairperson. My name is Isha. For year 81, how many are suffering from pain right now in Japan? Do you have a specific number?
Fibromyalgia causes severe pain, and half of them have thought to die in their while
So,
they're suffering. And
out of those
so
patients,
the 470,000 people have severe pain.
so out of those patients, how many support euthanasia? Do you have a number? How many people support euthanasia?
Yes, 470,000 people.
They want euthanasia.
Yes.
Okay, so is euthanasia the only way to relieve pain?
Yes,
Can you prove
because
that?
fibromyalgia is incurable and they have severe pain, but to not cure the patient.
So are you sure that euthanasia will always relieve patients' pain?
Yes, they won't suffer more because of euthanasia.
Well, I'll check the data later. Is there pain on a certain level that only death can solve it?
Would you repeat, please?
Is there pain on a certain level that only death can solve this problem?
Yes, because fibromyalgia won't lead patients to death.
Okay, for your D82, what is your impact of 82?
Okay. All Japanese should be able to make their own life choices with dignity.
Okay, thank you. So what is the definition of dignity?
Okay, dignity means people living the kind of life that they want to live with independence, mobility,
So,
and freedom.
thank you. How can they have dignity when they will die?
Because they are suffering because of loss of dignity, because like they can't go to
And
the
how
bathroom or even change
euthanasia,
their clothes.
thank you. How euthanasia can improve dignity?
Because they are suffering right now because of loss of dignity, so when they euthanize, they will be relieved from the pain.
You said 10,000 patients will choose euthanasia, so is that your own calculation or is it according to your data?
Okay, which number?
Alright, in your 82 you mentioned about, in your effect you said 10,000 people will choose the plan.
Yeah, we
So-
calculated from the evidence.
So that's your own calculation, it's not
Yes,
from a
we-
source.
Yes, based on the data, it's reliable data.
Do you have a source for
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
What is the source?
Okay, according to CMAJ, over 80% of euthanasia cases
Okay, thank
in Belgium
you.
were
You talked about mental problems. So if patients have a mental problem, can they get clear consent?
Yeah, yes they can.
I'll check the data later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judges and Chairperson, and of course the opponents. My name is Fuka. The affirmative plan will be misused. D1, duty to die from financial burden. Duty to die from financial burden. Project version. First, the cost for terminal care is very high. According to the Ministry of Finance 2007, the average cost is about 30 million yen per year. Second, the average Japanese worker cannot cover these costs. According to National Tax Agency 2016, the average income is only about 4.2 million yen. Third, 40% of workers are low income and 24% live in poverty. So many Japanese people struggle with these high medical costs. Effect. First, due to the high cost, the patient don't want to be a burden and choose early death as a duty to the family. Second, according to LifeOak, fear of being a financial burden to family was the second reason for choosing euthanasia. Also, in a 1998 Oregon survey, over 60% worry about economic burden in case of terminal illness. Third, it is cheaper to have euthanasia. According to Marlene Golden, the one-time cost for assisted suicide is as low as 4,000 yen, which is much cheaper than long-term healthcare treatment. Importance. Euthanasia in theory is a last medical resort, but in practice, the right to choose creates a duty to die. According to BBC News 3rd, 2015, one main reason for elderly suicide in Japan is financial pressure. Expert Ken Joseph, who worked at the Japan Helpline, said for over the last 40 years, many elderly see suicide as an escape from financial problems to help their families. This shows the financial pressure is real. Given the high cost of care, your plan allows patients to choose this for financial burden rather than medical reason, which makes your plan wrong and immoral. DA2, illegal use of euthanasia. DA2, illegal use of euthanasia. Present situation. There is a nursing fatigue problem in Japan. First, burden is felt by families because many families who take care of sick suffer from nursing fatigue. According to the Alzheimer's Association 2012, 96% of families taking care of dementia say it's difficult to live a normal life. Second, in Japan, there are cases of murder of sick family members. According to the National Police Agency, from 2007 to 2014, there were 356 arrests for family murder because of long-term care and nursing fatigue. Third, in Japan, there are even cases of medical staff nursing fatigue. In 2017, a Tokyo home worker killed his 83 years old patient, and in 2018, a Japanese nurse admitted to killing over 20 elderly patients. Effect. First, in all countries with legal euthanasia, there are cases of illegal euthanasia performed without the patient consent. Second, according to Professor David Richmond of University of Auckland, in Belgium and in the Netherlands, there are illegal forms of euthanasia. Third, in Belgium in 2013, as many as 1,047 people died in Belgium without clear consent. Fourth, according to a Netherlands study in 2015, there were 431 people euthanized without consent, and that may be up to 1,400 assisted deaths in 2016 that are not reported, accounting for 23% of all unreported assisted deaths. Importance. The plan results in a way for euthanasia to be exploited. As we have proved in present situation, nursing fatigue is an incentive, and in effect, there is precedence. It happens in all countries with illegal euthanasia. This is undeniable fact. Judges, the affirmative only tells you why they want euthanasia ideally, but they never told you how it is abused in reality and happening in all countries currently with euthanasia. If they are not prepared for both the situation, then your plan is weak. Thank you.
Okay, please say your name and start.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ike. So first, TODA1. So you said about the did it actually happen in the Netherlands? Your case happened in the Netherlands.
A fear of being a financial burden to family was the second reason for choosing euthanasia.
But in the Netherlands?
According to LifeOak.
So did it actually happen in the Netherlands?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so how many people are suffering from financial burden now?
Financial burden? As we said, the financial burden is too high, 30 million yen per year, but the average income is 4.2 million yen, and 40%
so how many
below
people are suffering because of that?
all people who have
Okay,
taken
so why can you say that
Turn
these
off your
people do not choose to die now?
died now. Are you saying they should choose suicide?
No. Why don't they choose? Yeah. Okay. So let me move on to the question. So first, in your fact, you said that about 60%. So what's the evidence from
Oregon.
Oregon? Okay, thank you. And so did they actually choose? So you in the okay. So let me move on to the A2.
Okay.
So why would the doctors abuse euthanasia?
Doctor abuse euthanasia. You're saying that there is nursing problem in Japan, and that is incentive, and
Why
in
why
effect
would
that
they?
because of nursing fatigue.
Okay, and so will it happen because by passive euthanasia? Why can you say that this would happen only by legalizing active euthanasia?
If we legalize euthanasia, that means there will be illegal use of euthanasia because, as we said in our speech, in effect there is precedence.
So other treatments.
Other
So,
treatment.
yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Okay. What about other treatments? So like, can other treatments? Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, honorable judges and chairperson, and of course opponents. My name is Jasper. First attack for 81. According to Dr. Saf and Dr. Aja, conclude that proper use of medicine and therapy for pain relief should treat pain up to 95% of cancer patients. And according to Dr. Monita, 88% of patients were satisfied or extremely satisfied with their treatment. So we can manage pain effectively with medicine and palliative care. So the 80 has no necessity. Second attack. They never once explain why death is the only solution to pain, especially when they admit some patients' pain can be treated. They never explain why other patient pain cannot be treated. The problem could be high cost or lack of access, which can be solved. So why is the death the only solution? So the 80 has an unclear logic. Third attack. Biologically, pain is the stimulation of the nerve system. You can stop the stimulation, or you can numb the nerve system. For example, by sedation. Why must we end life? That's too extreme and unnecessary. Actually, new research shows that we can turn off the body's neuropathic sensors without killing the patient. According to 2018 research from UC San Diego, the AIBP protein can block the T area for pain receptor on nerve cells. Professor Ya said this blocks the mechanism that causes pain. We can stop pain without taking life. This completely destroys the necessity of their AD. Fourth attack for both ADs. Actually, euthanasia can lead to a painful, undignified death due to complications. According to euthanasia debate, up to 10% to 30% of euthanasia have complications like fit, vomiting, and even patients waking up. Also, according to US Today 2017, some euthanasia drugs cause burning in patients' mouth and throat, causing some to screaming in pain. Isn't that the opposite of dying with dignity? So the idea has actually led to painful, undignified deaths. That's an extremely negative impact. Fifth attack for ID2. According to Applied Medical Association 2015 article on end of life and dignity, home hospice and palliative care fully support patients' dignity. They support the patient's ways of life, their relationship with the families, and they make death as peaceful as possible. Also, according to a survey of palliative care patients, 88% of patients were satisfied or extremely satisfied with palliative care. Second attack. Consent is hard to get for dementia patient or a patient who lost their brain function. They cannot give clear consent, so they cannot use euthanasia. Also, get early consent is not likely. According to Dr. Asai, 2018, only 1% of Japanese people have living wills, and 43% of people have no interest in making one. So their AD has a low impact. Seventh attack. In the first place, euthanasia requires unbearable pain, but as far as we know, patients with dementia don't suffer pain because the change of brain that occur in mental diseases and other forms of dementia do not cause physical pain. Also, the government of Japan recently already made a new Orange Plan to help prevent and treat dementia in patients. So their AD has a low possibility and low impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ben, and I'll start my question. So your first attack talked about how medicine can cure 95% of cancer patients
proper
pain.
use of medicine.
Is this cancer patients? You said cancer.
It can relieve pain up to 95%.
Of cancer patients.
Cancer patient has more. Cancer patient has the most pain, and that pain is already can treated
Okay,
up to
and so
95%.
is this 95% and 88% of satisfied people cancer patients or not? Are they actually our targets? Incurable
That
patients?
88% of patients who are certified or extremely certified, all the patients.
Okay, are those different evidences? Do they connect? Are they so people who receive the medicine are actually satisfied, or that's a completely different thing?
People are very likely to use their treatment.
Okay,
Into
and
medicine.
your second attack
Healthcare.
talked about euthanasia being the only way was unclear.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not
and,
unique.
And your third attack talked about nerves and how. So do you put the patient to sleep or something? Is it same as sedation or?
No.
So people live
So
and walk but feel
I will
nothing.
repeat the attack. Actually, new research shows we can turn off the body neuropathic
Okay, so
sensors.
what
without
will be
treating
the
the
patient's condition after using the treatment? Can they walk? Can they live normally?
Pardon?
What will be the patient's condition after receiving the treatment? They have no nerves, right?
The main point is we can relieve pain by this, and it's
Yeah, but is that
100%.
life worth living? Is my question.
How can you say that?
So how do you doubt our speeches? Is what I'm asking.
How can you say that I cannot?
Okay, sorry. Complicated. Your last attack talked about mental diseases, and so how do you treat mental diseases?
How to treat mental?
Oh, sorry.
That's our topic.
You talked about dementia or something.
Yeah,
There's a treatment for these people.
they're not suffering from physical
Oh,
pain,
not
and
suffering.
you can
Okay,
prove
yeah.
they have pain. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Misaki. I want to attack the speech to DM1, type 1. This is that patients will choose active euthanasia after taking a plan, but it is not unique at all. Even now, pressure exists, and people can choose to end their lives by because of pressure, because of financial pressure, but they don't choose They don't choose it even now. They have the burden to prove that what will change after the plan and how it will change. Otherwise, their argument has no uniqueness, and legalizing euthanasia will not change anything. Attack 2. They say that 60% of patients choose active euthanasia because they are influenced by the financial burden, but that has no impact. Why can you see a patient including their family opinion in the decision making is not their true will? No one is fully independent. And for any serious decision, people usually get advice from other people. And also, they say that financial burden is second opinion and second reason. And we check their evidence, and it said that first reason is pain. This means that the choosing active euthanasia, patients choose active euthanasia because they have a severe pain. And so their argument has no longer sense. Attack 3, they say that in Oregon, patients are receiving economic pressure from the economic pressure to choose active euthanasia over euthanasia, but this is not true. The Japanese and American healthcare system are very different and can be compared from an economic perspective. According to Japan Times in 2017, unlike Americans, all Japanese have easy access to health insurance, and for majority of patients, healthcare is heavily subsidized. This means Japanese patients face much less financial pressure than American ones, so their probability is very low. I want to move their DA2. Attack 4, they say that doctors perform active euthanasia without patient consent, but we checked their evidence that why the doctors abuse, but this evidence didn't show that why doctors abuse active euthanasia. So they don't know why doctors abuse euthanasia, so they can't say same thing will happen in Japan. Attack 5, they say that doctor abuse euthanasia, but it's not true. Abuse is not unique. Abuse is happening when the practice is legal or illegal. Arguably, more problems happen when it is illegal. We already have problems with illegal euthanasia abuse that can be solved by legalizing it. And attack 6, they say that non-voluntary euthanasia will increase, but this is not true. The opposite will happen. And non-voluntary voluntary euthanasia has decreased in the Netherlands because of legalizing voluntary euthanasia. In fact, voluntary euthanasia has decreased 0.8% to 0.2%. So legalizing active euthanasia has the power to decrease non-voluntary euthanasia. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable judges and chairperson, and of course opponents. My name is Seren. About your attack 6, can you prove that legalizing euthanasia can decrease illegal euthanasia?
Yes, because even now, voluntary euthanasia happens because it is illegal. But after the plan, illegal euthanasia will be legal. So, and according to the Lancet in 2012, that the non-voluntary euthanasia has decreased
Okay, thank you.
0.8%.
Okay, thank you. About your attack 2, you said that patient want to use euthanasia, but how many patients want to use euthanasia in Japan? Do you have data? Do you have a number?
What do you mean?
So you said that patients are suffering. So patients want to use euthanasia, but how many people want to use euthanasia?
But your evidence, you said that financial burden is the second reason. Then their evidence said that the first reason is the pain.
Okay, thank
your
you.
evidence proves that the pain is the biggest reason.
Okay, thank you.
to
Okay, thank you. About your attack 1, so how can you say that our DA1 is not uniqueness? Yeah.
Because pressure exists now because financial burden is presently patients have financial burden, but they don't have to choose.
So you
end of life. This means that.
So you admitted that patient have a burden, right?
You said that the patient have financial burden.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay,
You
thank
have
you.
to prove the difference between.
About your attack 3, why we can't use other country data? Can you
No,
explain clearly?
No, I mean that you use Oregon data, but American.
Yeah, so you
America
said that
and
we are
Japan
using
is
other.
different system to about insurance.
Okay, I
insurance
think
system. So
you seem
can
like
use
you're
Netherlands
misunderstanding our
evidence,
point.
but
Thank you.
cannot use Oregon.
Thank you. I have to go to the next question.
Okay.
About your attack, what is the main point of your attack 4?
Attack 4.
Yes.
You said that doctors abuse active euthanasia, but we checked your evidence that why doctors abuse euthanasia, but your evidence doesn't say that why.
How can you say that?
Your evidence didn't show that.
But there are nursing fatigue. We are talking about nursing fatigue.
So
Okay,
we
you seem
checked-
like you are misunderstanding our point. Thank you.
Thank you. Question time has ended. We will now have a 2-minute preparation time. Please say your name and start.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ben, and I'll start my defense speech. So first, they attacked our speech by saying that medicine can cure remove 95% of pain. But their evidence actually says, but unfortunately, cancer pain still remains, which means it doesn't remove all pain. And this is what we're talking about, the incurable part that cannot be cured by the present cures. We need a new plan for these people. We need to save and give them a choice to be free from their pain. So our point still stands. Furthermore, according to WHO, about 10% of cancer patients' pain can't be removed even if doctors use that method, which means cancer pain cannot be removed. Incurable pain is higher than cancer pain, so it can't be removed. It's incurable. And our targets are talking about incurable pain, and patients cannot die because of the disease. They have to live and suffer until they die, which means the suffering will continue. And we need a practical way to cure these patients, to free them from their pain. And they didn't know how euthanasia is the only way, so I'll explain. So as we said in our constructive speech, passive euthanasia and end-of-life sedation cannot work for our targets because our targets have no risk of dying. And we proved in our constructive speech that there are 470,000 patients that have a really high probability of choosing euthanasia. They need this plan to be free. Why do we give, we give other patients a choice to get free from their pain, like passive euthanasia or death with dignity, but we don't give these patients a choice to die. And moving on to 82, and moving on to 82, the first attack was talking about palliative care can also preserve dignity, but they didn't prove how much it is possible or even if it's a practical way. Is it in use? they have a lack of explanation. Furthermore, by receiving this care, we talked about receiving care is a loss of dignity because they can't move, they stay in bed, they have to be taken care of by everyone else. So this is loss of dignity. Furthermore, their nerve system attack to our 81 supports our 82 because they cut the nerves. They make patients into a disabled situation. They have less mobility, less self-determination. And, sorry. According to the survey of Nippon Life Insurance Company, over 50% of Japanese don't want to have a long life. Moreover, about 55% are even afraid of living long, which means Japanese people tend to not want to have a long life because they are afraid of health problems, which means our 80s have a high value. And also, people who choose to die and don't choose to die will be benefited. According to Tokyo University 2016, over 80% of the patients in the Netherlands who were approved of euthanasia felt already relieved and ended up not choosing euthanasia, which means people who choose euthanasia are relieved, and people who don't choose euthanasia are also relieved by the choice. So our AD has a big value. Thank you.
Please say your name and start.
Thank you, honorable judges and chairperson, and of course opponents. My name is about your tax tree. As we said as we have proved in our speech, many people in Japan have traveled covering the terminal care cost, and even the cost is different from Oregon. There's a huge financial burden on the patient and their family, which means there is motive and patient to choose euthanasia from financial reason. That is wrong. Also, HEnDA rules even ask us to study and reference these cases from countries that legalize euthanasia, so the attack has no meaning. About your attack 6, attack needs to clearly prove nursing fatigue doesn't lead to killing patients, which they didn't. According to the Spectre Journal study, a woman with dementia was euthanized against her will. According to the National Police Agency, even in Japan, from 2007 to 2014, there were 356 arrests for family murders because of long-term care and nursing fatigue. So the attack has low possibility and low impact. About your attack 6, we checked our data, but the data doesn't say the reason is because of legalized euthanasia, so the attack is weak. About your attack 5, first, the point is we show incentive by showing murders coming from nursing fatigue. Second, murder is illegal. However, your plan is government policy, and people can use loopholes in it. So, of course, it's big difference and this uniqueness. Furthermore, are you admitting murder and euthanasia are the same? If you are, then you are defying your own plan, because we should never have a plan to murder patients. What's not unique is that in every country with euthanasia, there is illegal euthanasia. You couldn't disprove that. So that is, if you can't accept that, then your plan is not prepared. It is weak, so the attack is not true. About your attack first, attack 1, attack must prove that the result of suicide and the result of euthanasia will be the same, which they didn't. Our point is that there are patients committing suicide because of the financial pressure. Furthermore, suicide by patient is small now, but after the government legalized euthanasia, then euthanasia becomes a legal way to suicide. There is a big difference whether the government allows it or not. Furthermore, that's not even our point. Our point is that some patient will abuse and misuse your plan for financial incentives. So the attack is not true. Also about your attack 4 and 2, as we said in our speech, there is nursing fatigue and 356 cases from murder. This is incentive, and also there is precedence. They said to euthanasia needs to patient consent. However, there will be illegal use of euthanasia without patient consent, and there was 1,047 people died without clear consent. So the attack is not true. So euthanasia will be okay. So there is no possibility. Also, they don't deny that in your D1 predenstration, terminal care has very high cost. Also, they don't deny that in our D1 effect, patient will feel the duty to die. Also, they don't deny that in our D2 predenstration, family feel burden for taking care of patients. So they admitted incentive. Also, they don't deny that in our D2 effect, illegal euthanasia is happening in all countries with euthanasia. So they admitted precedence of illegal euthanasia, and they admitted possibility. Thank you.
Please say your name and start.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ikie. So first, let me talk about our main points. So now patients have to live even if they're suffering. However, euthanasia can solve this problem. Patients who wish to be free from pain can choose to die, and also people who lose their dignity can get a choice to die when they need it. All Japanese people can get a choice when they get sick or get injured or face difficulties in life. Choose it or not, people will be relieved from their sufferings by being able to choose when to die. These benefits will give us a life with no suffering. And so, Inner 81, so regular patients get a choice to be free, but why not our targets? Our targets remain suffering. Euthanasia is the only way, so please take this point. And in our 81, they didn't attack a point that people, there are about 470,000 people who are suffering from severe pain caused by fibromyalgia, and these patients have no choice but to suffer. So, and they admitted, so they didn't attack this point. This means they admitted that this situation is bad. So we should change the situation right now. And also, in our 82, they didn't attack a point that the self-determination is the foundation of human dignity and one of the key elements that make us ourselves. So they didn't attack it. In fact, this means our seriousness is really big. So we should legalize euthanasia. So okay, now let me talk about their ADs, their DAs. So in their DA1, they defended Article 3, but they didn't explain how many Japanese people have to have financial burden. They just say a lot of people have it. So their defense doesn't stand, and their DA1 no longer stands. And also, in their DA2, they defended Article 4. The reason of abuse is nursing fatigue. We checked the evidence, but they didn't give us evidence still after the defense speech. So they can't prove the process. So they can't say it will happen in Japan. Okay. So now let me compare R81 and their DA2. Okay. So in their DA2, as our tax speaker said, abuse happens when a practice is legal or illegal. So not active euthanasia. So their DA2 will happen by other things. So uniqueness is really small, and we need active euthanasia because our benefit is really big. The benefit is really big is that after the plan, our target can be saved only by active euthanasia because passive euthanasia and applied sedation don't work for our target. So, and this is a really good situation, and because they can be saved from the sufferers. We should prioritize our 81, and also let me compare our 82 and their DA1. So in their DA1, in a question time, they didn't say that in a present situation, people who suffer from financial burden choose to die. So therefore, we can say that after the plan, they will surely choose to die by active euthanasia. So their DA1 won't happen, and nothing bad happens even if we legalize euthanasia. But in our 82, we clearly say that Japanese elderly are forced to live now, and because they have no option but to live. And all Japanese people can get a choice to die, so this is a really good situation, so we should legalize euthanasia. Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please say your name and start.
Thank you, Honorable Judges, Chairpersons, the audience, and of course the opponents. My name is Isha. Their 80 is talking about relieving pain, and we agree that patients have pain, but the problem is that instead of solving that pain, the affirmative side is suggesting the patients to die. We have proved that euthanasia is not the only way to relieve pain. Our attack has totally defeated their pain argument, as our tax speaker said that AIB protein can relieve patients' pain completely. And also 88% of patients were satisfied with the treatments in palliative care. Also, they said euthanasia is to relieve pain and suffering, but as our attack speaker said, that euthanasia actually increased pain. Because if euthanasia fails, which has happened in up to 10 to 30% of cases, it increased the pain of the patients. So their plan is not relieving pain. Instead, it is increasing pain for the patients. And with euthanasia, patients cannot have dignified death, so their 81 has a negative impact on the patient. So their 80 is totally cancelled because we have proved that euthanasia actually increased the pain instead of decreasing. We are just saying that we don't have to kill patients in order to end their pain. Also, they talked about dignity, but patients cannot have dignity when they die. Dignity is in life, not in death. So both of their 80s has a weak impact. Also, they never proved how many of those suffering patients support euthanasia. They gave us a number which was their own personal calculation. They didn't give us any source, so just please check this point. Their 82 actually supports our DA2. Their 80 is trying to relieve the pain of mentally ill patients by euthanasia, but they can never prove if those patients can give clear consent. And if they cannot give clear consent, then this will lead to illegal euthanasia, which means they admit our DA2. They cannot deny that every country that has euthanasia has cases of illegal euthanasia. They cannot logic this away. It is a fact, and their plan is weak because they don't even recognize this problem. So their plan is unprepared for it and has a negative impact. Our DA defeats their 80 because we said in our DA1 about suicide and DA2 about murder. Their 80 is also killing patients, and this number is going to increase if we accept the 80 plan. But this time, euthanasia will be open to public and will be supported by the government. Also, our tax speaker has completely proved that palliative care fully supports patients' dignity and make death as peaceful as possible. So we don't have to kill patients in order to respect their dignity. So their 82 is also cancelled. Judges, please check this point. Their both DAs are totally cancelled. For our 81, for our DA1, they cannot deny that terminal care cost is high. They cannot deny that average income of Japan cannot cover the medical cost, and they cannot deny that financial reasons can be the main reason for euthanasia, even though there are still medical options. For DA2, they cannot deny that families feel a burden for taking care of patients, they cannot deny that nursing staff feel burdened to take care of our patients, and they cannot deny that illegal euthanasia is happening in all countries with euthanasia, so they admit our DA2. And their plan does not have safeguards against this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, debaters. The debate is now over. You all did a great job.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Satoru Sekiguchi. I'm from Tochigi Prefecture. I used to be a debater in university, so I'm very lucky to be here and to and in front of you. In spite of today is a special day because this is the last day of Heisei period of academic debate. So I'm very honorable to be here. Thank you. But today I have to make a comment in English, but time is limited. So could you allow me to speak in Japanese? Okay? Okay. それではまずね実施上の理由になった議論から見ていきたいと思います。まず AD1 の話なんですけども、ペインが取り除かれるという話、これは否定側からのアタックで、90% ぐらい、キャンサーのペイシェントに関して、痛みが取り除かれるというふうな話がありました。でこれに関してディフェンスはWHO でも 10% は残っちゃうということで、はい、ジャッジシートは出してきたので大丈夫ですよ。はいというふうにディフェンスが守りました。で、これ以上の、ディフェンスに対するカウンターのアナリシスというのは出てませんでしたので、これを取って、10% 残るというふうなことで感じております。でただネガの、アタック素晴らしいのがあって、ユーサレージャ自体も、ペインフルなんだっていうふうな、いい、アタックがありました。でこれに関してはディフェンスはちょっと返せてなかったかなというふうな印象です。でそれに関してなんですけど、10% の対象の人たちだけが残って、さらに、運が悪かった 10% のぐらいの人たちは、吐き気を催したりとか、そんな感じでいけないで、ちょっとね、アンラッキーな人たちもいるんだけど、それ以外の人たちは、唯一の救われる手段としての、ユーサネジアがあるだろうということで、これは 10% ぐらい残っているというふうに捉えています。で AD2 のディグニティに関してなんですけども、これは素晴らしい、そのトリートメントが発明されて、もう大丈夫なんだとかね、そういうふうな話があったんですけども、ディフェンスの子がね、言ってた通り、その神経を切っちゃうと。ということは、動くことをそれはできなくなっちゃう。でしかも 50% の人たちが別にもうこれ以上長く生きたくはないというふうに言っているということは、それだけね、自分が生きることと死ぬことで比べたら、死ぬ方がディグニティを守れるんだっていう本人の気持ちなのかなというふうには考えてました。これでネガのサマリーの子がすごくいいこと言ってて、ディグニティっていうのは死んだ状態じゃなくて生きる状態にこそディグニティはあるんだっていうふうに言ってました。これ確かにそうなんですけど、これディフェンスの子が読んだこのエビデンス、このエビデンスが本人たちの証言ということなので、本人たちにとってはどうなのかっていう視点で言うと、やっぱりアパの方に分があるのかなというふうに捉えます。なので、AD2 も残っているというふうに判断しております。で DA1 に関してなんですけども、ファイナンシャルバーデンがあって、もう選ばざるを得ない。家族からそんなプレッシャーが来て、選ばざるを得ないというような話がありました。でこれに関してなんですが、オレゴンと比べれば日本の方が医療アクセスはしやすいとか、そういった話はあったんですけれども、 ネガのコンストの時点で、赤で 24% ぐらいの人が、ネガのね、24% ぐらいの人が日本でもポバティの状態だっていうふうな話がありましたので、その人たちにとっては、ファイナンシャルガーデンでやっちゃうだろうなっていうふうに感じてます。なので、その日本の、話もしているので、DA1 は少し残るかなというふうに感じてます。ただ、これが、いろんな手段があってね、ファミリーがね、こっちのね、エビデンスの検証の時に、そのファイナンシャルの理由なのが2番目で、ペインが1番なんだよっていうふうに、エビデンスのチェックもしてましたので、それがどれだけファイナンシャルだけで本当に死を選ぶのかっていうのはよくわからないというふうなことで、DA はもう少し残るっていうふうな判断です。DA2 に関しては、イリーガルユースがあるという話。で、これ有効な、アタックとしては、アパカアタックした中で、なんだろうな、カナダかどっかのやつで 0.8% のインボランタリーだったのが、リーガライズしたから 0.2% ぐらいに減ったっていうふうなエビデンスがありました。これすごいいいエビデンスだなと思ったんですけども、DA でディフェンスしてくれたのが、とても良くてですね、エブリカントリーにとって、そのインボランタリーのやつが起こったんだよっていうふうなエビデンスがありました。なので、これでそのカナダの例っていうのは、あくまでもワンケースということで、捉えました。ただそのラッキーなケースとアンラッキーなケースがあるということで、どちらも併存し得る可能性がありますので、こうつけがたいと思いました。ただDA2 の場合は、ラッキーなケースが1件で、それ以外のケースが何件もということですので、DA2 に関しては、結構強く残っているかなというふうな印象です。で、現時点では、AD1 から DA2 まで全て4つが残っている状態なんですけども、ここから比べ合いになります。比べ合いのところで、コンパリソン、提出されたものが、アパのサマリーが AD2 と DA1 で比べたときに、AD2 に関しては、他にディグニティを守れる術がない。で、DA1 に関しては、現状でも選ばないから、その他の手段があるんじゃないか、その他の手段で何とか解決してるんじゃないかっていうようなことでありましたので、AD2 と DA1 で比べたら、AD2 の方が、勝ってるかなっていうふうに感じます。でさらに DA2 の、比べることに関しては、こちらがサマリーがあったように AD1 と DA2 で比べてて AD1 の人はもう現状で今、苦しんでいる人がいる。でそれに対して DA2 の場合は、他の、ステップがあって、守る、ことができる。つまり実際のイリーガルユースに至るまでに少し時間があるということは対策が取れるというふうなことでしたので AD1 の方が勝っていると、いうふうなコンパリソンでした。でこれに対する有効な反応はありませんでしたので、それぞれ、AD に対する、コンパリソンを、採用しまして、私は、アパに入れました。で全体の結果でいうと、5 judges voted for affirmative. Congratulations. またディベータープライズも発表させていきます。4 judges voted for Mr. Ben Kato. That's the debater. One judge voted for Ms. Yuzuki Nakamura. Congratulations. あと今後につながる、話を少しさせてください。僕が聞いてて思ったのが、その DA1 にしろ DA2 にしろ、家族がいると、ファイナンシャルだったり、介護疲れでなっちゃうということは、家族がいない人にとっては、こういった DA は起こらないというようなことになりますよね。なので、その家族がいる、いないで分けるっていうのも一つの手かなと思いました。さらにその DA1 に対しても DA2 に対しても、家族の立場からすれば、そのユーザーネシアっていうのは金銭的にも助かるし、介護疲れっていうのも解放される。つまり家族の面から言うと、DA1 っていうのは、いいこと、むしろ AD、DA2 に関しても AD なんだなっていう、そういったところインパクトターンっていう議論の種類なんですけども、そこら辺ぐらいまで議論の幅が広がると、もっと面白いディベートができるかななんて思いました。すみません、余計な一言でした。もし何か、質問があれば、この後もよろしくお願いします。以上です。どうもありがとうございました。